So this is the recital room. One of the interesting things is we have a record of all these faces of the previous heads. Arthur Rountree is a particular favourite of mine. I mean, he is from the old Rountree Quaker family, and he was head for about 27 years at the beginning of the 20th century. And during the First World War, of course, he was head at a very dangerous time for the country, and he was keen to put across the Quaker pacifist views. And a lot of the other schools, a lot of the other English public schools were talking about the need for drill and getting their boys to march up and down and square bash and so on. And he said, no, what was really important was developing people's leisure time activity so that when peace eventually came, it would be a more civilised peace.
Well, I'm one of the few Quakers in the school, and morning meeting we have for 15 minutes, and it's not entirely silent. On Monday we have a completely silent one, but then on other days it's a bit more... We have silence at the beginning and end, and then in the middle it's a bit more like an assembly, which is good for people who aren't Quakers and don't really get why we're doing this silent thing.
When I first came, I was really freaked out by the fact that everybody was completely silent, but it's nice because also like teachers and students like to read stuff out, and it's quite interesting and something to reflect on.
Yeah, morning meeting was like really, at first it was like really strange, like what are you supposed to do for 15 minutes? It made you really think about something rather than just not doing anything.
It's different at first, but once you get used to it, it's easy to relax and just be yourself. You don't have to act in any different way, you can just be what you want to be, sort of thing.
It's good in the sense that if you have a certain political view or a certain interest, you can still follow that, and they'll be behind you 100%, letting you do what you want to do, which is good in growing personally and socially.
Well, I'm not a Quaker by any stretch, but I know that the idea has certainly influenced how I view things.
The saying is see God in everyone. And I'm not Christian at all, but to me, I just add another O to it, and I think see the good in everyone. And that is a big difference. They always look to enhance whatever every child has, to find those positive qualities, to find that skill, that talent, and draw that out.
The important influence that Quakerism has is that it really opens your mind up to certain things. For people who are set on certain paths, when you join, if you think, oh, I only like this or I only like this, it kind of makes you realise, well, maybe this could be better or that could be better. It really makes you... And not in a kind of way that you have to do this, you have to do what you don't like. You just kind of open up to it somehow. It's just the influence the school has.
Certainly changed the way I view people with opposing ideas and arguments, certainly.
There's that of God in everyone, and therefore everyone's just as important as anybody else. Our discipline works on everybody respecting everybody else, and it really does work that way.
It's a bit of a state of mind, I think, the Quaker ethos. It comes with responsibility on both sides.
It's all about working with the students, and even when they've done something which may not be what you wanted them to do, it isn't about attacking them and saying what bad people they are. It's about asking them to examine what they've done and think about what they've done and look to how they might do that better in the future.
We're much more likely to say, why did you do that? Do you understand how somebody else feels because of your actions? Would you do it again? Can you think of a better way of handling that? That's much more challenging.
There's a great positivity about Bootham, which is a fantastic thing to be part of.